I work a lot in Oregon for the Oregon Cabaret Theater, and my good friend Jim Giancarlo and Susan Sieber, you know, they said a long time ago, we said we just want to do a show about, you know, just to tap together and have fun tapping together. And you know, never ever thought that it would go anywhere past Oregon. And so after doing, you know, performing it, I said to myself, you know what, I feel like the material in this show has a lot of potential to be something bigger than what we were actually doing. And you know, the show was wonderful, it was great, but it didn't really tell a story. It was just performing for the sake of performing wonderful numbers, where I felt that it needed to tell more of a story, tell more of the history of tap. One exciting point about this version is that it really does do that. You're literally going on a journey, and tap is pretty much your guide.
I think one of the things that's unique about this show is that right off the bat, the audience is asked to get involved. The fourth wall is broken very quickly.
Oh, we gotta do that one again. Hey. There you go.
We definitely are speaking directly to the audience and asking them to kind of get in on the rhythm and get in on learning a little bit of the lesson. So that starts off right at the top of the show, and then it definitely comes back full circle at the end, and just ends with a lot of audience interaction and so much fun. You can always tell they're having a great time. They're singing along, they're clapping along.
So let's try it again. Do y'all think you can handle be in the rhythm for our tap?
It's always great to start an old standard, and these are all fantastic songs. To start one, and you know, the audience will then, you know, they'll hear it, they'll think, oh, it's this, but then you give them something slightly different, ever so slightly different, just to keep them going, oh yeah, okay, that's new, but I like it. I like it.
I like doing Grapevine because it shows my acting ability as well as my tap dance ability. And I really like Little Brown Jug. I think that that's just such a fun number. It's very classy, and there's a little bit of humor to it as well. You know, it's not just we're out there in tux and tails dancing. There's a little bit of a comic side to it as well. the mother next door with 3 kids could go see it. The construction worker who is you know, your grandmother's neighbor could enjoy it. I think if people go to the show, maybe not expecting to enjoy it, they'd be pleasantly surprised.
Into that dance.
I think this is a wonderful show. I think it's a great idea. I've seen a lot of tap shows that were just basically reviews, and I really like this show because it's a review, but it has a storyline of the origin of tap, as opposed to just putting on a tap dance show and we're all just tap dancing and having a good time. It's more of like an education as well as entertainment.
You know, one wonderful thing about this, and as the trend goes on with there being no money for performers, and no money for theater, theater funding, it has a small cast, which is wonderful. That's a wonderful thing, and I think it works well with a small cast. It's not just a small cast because we need to go for a small cast. It's a small cast because it makes the audience feel like they are one-on-one with these characters. They're teaching them something, and it's special. I feel it's definitely special, and you're also excited to see, well, he just did Bojangles, so then who's gonna take on this character? What are they gonna do? And it's a lot more intimate and intimate of a show.
When we step on the whole foot and transfer our weight, that's called a stamp.
We can also make a sound with the whole foot that doesn't take weight, and that's called a stomp.
When we smack the whole foot back, that's called a spank.
No, I am sure you're going to.
You know what? Hey! Now, when we get to the 2 sounds.
Yeah, each of the characters have different names. There's shuffle, flap, slide, wing, and buck. So they're all based off of tap steps.
Oh! It's kind of like being a Democrat or a Republican. You're either one or the other.
There are so many incredible women in the history of this art form, in the history of tap, and they're so diverse what they bring, what their styles were, and how they each had their own different little essence, from Ann Miller to Eleanor Powell to Dorothy Dandridge. And in traditional musical theater, you're playing a character, and so you want to find everything out that you can about her, down to how she moves and her style and her way of dance. But in Riffin Tappin, shuffle gets to be every woman. So you get to be classy, sassy, light, strong, and you kind of get to pay homage and give each one of those women their moment and represent and embody their different styles, which is really delightful and exciting.
I like expressing myself through this show. I like the chance that I like that I can improv in this show, and really, because it makes me a better dancer when I get a chance to improv and express myself, as well as learning a style of tap that I'm not used to.
this incredible band who just came with us in such a short period of time, learned so much music, and really made it their own. It is like our own show. Like every single person here brought something to it, and it shines throughout the production.
You know, it's not completely bringing the noise, bringing the funk. I think it mixes tap in a new way that people haven't seen before. It's very refreshing and new, and I like that.
One of my favorite numbers is Shorty George because I have such a good relationship off stage with Colin, who I play opposite on stage, and we have a really similar style naturally, so it comes really easy for us to play off of each other.
Well, I might be a little biased, but I love Love Is on the Air so much. That's one of my favorite parts to do in the show.
Have you got any castles you want me to build? Buddy boy. Have you got any dragons you want to have killed? Buddy boy. I'll get you a pair of wings. I'll get my boots. I'll get my revolver and shoot. So rat-a-tat-tat. Have you got any mortgages you want to have killed? Buddy boy. Have you got any girls that you want to have laid to rest?
Well, they're definitely going to get a history lesson. They're going to get something out of it. They're going to learn tap steps, as well as, you know, like I said before, the people, the history of tap dancers who came before us. They're going to get some great choreography, great music, big band, jazz music, Latin music.
I think this show is very important. I think that there are a lot of stories that have not been told of the song and dance men. You know, we see them on the screen. We see their movies, we see them performing, but you never get a chance to really see the differences. You know, who is Snake Hips Tucker compared to Buster Brown? You know, what are their styles? What do they do differently? And tap has so many different styles within it. There's, you know, some styles that are more above the ground, more floaty. You know, Brenda Buffalino would be more floating across the stage. You know, Buster Brown is light on his feet. You know, there's so many different types. Eleanor Powell will give you more of a harder sound on the stage. And I think that this show explains that and gives you a good idea of the differences.
I don't know, everybody's gonna love this show. I can't picture a person. You have to be a very sour individual, and I'm a pretty sour individual at times, and I think the show's fantastic. So I can't imagine anyone not liking this show, not having a great time. You know, even you look out in the audience, you see people who are there. You can tell they were dragged to the theater. By the end of the first number, they're glad they're there.
You better come on!